Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. And today I want to talk to you guys about two more plants that get mistaken for each other often and how to spot the differences between them. And they are two philodendrons. They are heart-shaped philodendron varieties. And if you guys want, after this video, I can do another one about all of the different heart-shaped philodendrons. There are quite a lot of them, lots of different sports out there, but these are the two most difficult ones to tell apart. So I kind of wanted to start with that. So we're gonna put nutmeg aside and I'll show you the two that I have. They are the Philodendron Silver Stripe, and they're both big, so I can't hold them both up at once, I don't think. And the Philodendron Rio. So this one I actually just repotted into this bigger pot, so he looks a little scraggly right now. I think he'll look better soon. But these two are two of the most commonly mixed up heartleaf philodendron varieties. This one is actually an original cultivar of Gabriella plants located in Florida, and this has been stable for them since about 2009. I think that's when the mutation occurred for them. It is a mutation of a Philodendron Brazil, which is behind me, and it is characterized by these silver centers in the leaves. That is going to be the easiest way to tell that it is a Rio. Sometimes the variegation is a bit higher. Let me see, I have one here. It's hard to tell where it's like almost all cream, but there is a silver center. And that's the other thing too, is the variegation on this plant is cream. It is not white. It's kind of like a Thai constellation. I think it's the same color as that. So for me, that's kind of the easiest way to tell that it is a Rio, and all Rios should be able to be traced back to Gabriella plants since it is their cultivar. So that's all the basics about the Rio. The other one is the Silver Stripe here. And this one did not originate with Gabriella's plants, and it is known for having white variegation, but also these either creamy or silvery green centers. Sometimes they kind of come up as like a lime green. I have a very highly variegated leaf over here. You can see that, which kind of looks like a Gabby at this point, but the Gabby discussion is for another day. I will, even if I do another video on the heartleaf philodendrons, I will only refer to it as Silver Stripe because Cream Splash is exactly the same in my opinion. On Gabriella Plant's website, they do have an extensive article about the history of a lot of these sports and the varieties that they have cultivated. And the name Cream Splash actually was given to a photo of a Gabby that can be traced back to Gabriella Plants. And so I think that's further proof that it's just Silver Stripe. It's not a Cream Splash, it's Silver Stripe. And a Cream Splash to me is just a very highly variegated Silver Stripe, like this here. So I know that's controversial. You can argue with me if you want in the comments, but you honestly can't convince me otherwise because there's not really a good definition of a difference between the two. There's not really an origin. So that's kind of how I'm going to move forward with this, with my Silver Stripe, because it's gorgeous. I mean, there's some leaves where it's literally just a stripe, and then there's some leaves with super high, beautiful variegation. But if you do notice, the variegation in the center is a very light, silvery, cream, light green, whatever you want to call it, versus the Rio where it's going to be a darker, silvery color. And so that is going to be the main difference. There are different levels of variegation on both plants. Like I said, I have some leaves here that are just a little stripe, and some leaves that are very highly variegated. Sometimes the leaves do take on a more elongated shape here, but I have noticed that's more common with the Rio. Let me see if I have any that are super elongated. I have this one, which I showed you, which is like very wonky, very thin, very elongated. I've noticed that that happens a lot. Here's one too. It's the new leaf, very elongated. It happens a lot with the Rio, but also the Velvet Halo Philodendron Micans. So Micans varieties are kind of a whole other thing. There's lots of different variegated Micans out there at this point. So they're kind of their own little cultivar world. But for the purposes of this video, just want to focus on the Rio. Let me try this. And the Silver Stripe, if you can kind of see the differences here. The Silver Stripe is going to have that bright white alba variegation, and the Rio, it's a bit more cream. Now, as with any trailing heartleaf philodendron, if you want bigger leaves, you gotta put it up on a pole. Otherwise, it could eventually just turn into teeny tiny leaves and runners. I personally really like the look of the big leaves. I'm not a big fan of poles, but if they'll get me the big leaves, I will deal with it. So I just put this guy on a moss pole, and I'm hoping he will get some pretty big leaves. I did start fertilizing him a couple months ago, and the leaves did jump up in size as well, so that always helps. But yeah, if you are going to buy a Rio and it doesn't really look like one, you can always ask for sort of the lineage to trace back to Gabriella's plants. Anybody who is selling one should be able to do that. I bought this from a seller in Florida who bought their mother plant from Gabriella's plants, so I know that this is a legitimate Rio, variegation aside. But I'm just gonna show you up close because that leaf is literally gorgeous. So they do have different layers of variegation as well within the silver. I've noticed sometimes you'll get a more darker silver, and other times it'll be lighter. Like this one has different levels of variegation on the leaf, which is very nice. I highly recommend it. Rio is actually my favorite heartleaf variety, other than the Velvet Halo Micans, because we all know that's the best. That's my favorite. But this one is just so cute. I love the silver variegation. I think it's really unique, and it's a staple in my collection, and the prices have gone way down too. If you go on the Gabriella Plants website, it's a little bit pricey, but if you're just looking for a cutting, they grow really fast, and you can get one for a really reasonable price. I've seen people selling cuttings with 2 or 3 nodes for like $15 now. So if you're looking for one, keep an eye out. For the Silver Stripe, this one is very cheap now as well. You can get probably a whole hanging basket for like $35 at this point. It's getting a lot more common. I see them in garden centers all the time now. And this one I did have to chop up quite a bit. I'm trying to make it more full, but I'm hoping that soon it will be a nice, beautiful trailing plant. And I hope I get more leaves like this one. This leaf is crazy, look at that. It's tiny, but it's cute. And if I did put this on a pole, the leaves would probably get bigger, but I'm gonna try and see if I can just let it trail for now. I really want a big, beautiful trailing philodendron. So that is Silver Stripe. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it really helpful with the differences between the Philodendron Silver Stripe and the Philodendron Rio. If you want to see a video about all of the different heartleaf philodendron sports, just let me know in the comments below. I'm really thinking about making one because I love heartleaf philodendrons and I'm trying to catch them all like they're Pokemon. So if you like this video, also give us a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything else from me and Nutmeg. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.